At SAP, I basically became Chief Operating Officer at 26 years of age.
More number of meetings than required.
I totally empathize with you as a developer. What you think? Half of the meetings are there because somebody is dreading to write an email. I don't think so. There's anything called as work-life balance. 15 years I've been working on Saturdays. I don't expect anybody to work on Saturday, but I work on Saturdays. The top performers, the people who are AI first, will get 80% of the increment.
How would this downsizing, which is happening,
The last 2 years of downsizing, that has, in my opinion, 99% that nothing to do with AI replacing jobs. It will not replace engineers, builders, developers. It will 10x their productivity.
what is the best approach from a developer's point of view, or maybe the QAs who want to transition their career into development, or whoever wants to become a next level coder? What is the best way for them to transition into AI related development?
जो अपनी मदद नहीं करता ना, उसकी भगवान भी मदद नहीं करता. मैं अगर ये एक्सपेक्ट करूं कि मेरी कोई कंपनी आकर मेरे को एक सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स कराएगी, या मैं किसी ऑक्सफोर्ड में जाकर आईआईटी में जाकर एक सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स कर लेता हूँ, मेरे को एआई आ जाएगा, तो घंटा एआई है. आई ट्राइड बिल्डिंग चैट जीपीटी वे बैक इन 2016. गो ऑन youtube.com, डेवलपर, बिल्डर, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर, क्यूए, जाकर समझो. तुम सब में इतना है कि जाकर समझो कि एक एलएलएम काम कैसे करता है. अगर वो आकर बोलता है कि पूरा ये मैं 6 घंटे में बना दूंगा, तो मैं बोलूंगा मैं 3 घंटे में बना. माय स्टार्टअप वाज कॉल्ड सिली पॉइंट. आई वाज वेरी डीप इनटू मॉडिफाइंग लिनक्स कर्नल. In fact, I think kernel 2.4.6, if I remember correctly, also has a patch from me.
They are referring to as a perpetual beta, where it means that nothing is actually getting done.
The more you experiment in life, the higher the probability of your success. The product that you are shipping has a brand name called Puru Govind written. And I don't want to ruin my brand. Otherwise, the best MVP is you make a product with all the possibilities on the left menu. देखो बंदा कहाँ क्लिक कर रहा है, और जहां वो क्लिक कर रहा है राइट साइड पे दिखा दो कॉन्टैक्ट अस. If you now ask me again as a leader, I am not okay with that. That person would actually leave the company the next.
The individual contributor roles have been evolving now. There were so many layers. The individual accountability never really came.
In my opinion, there is no replacement of hard work. I can still tell you, I can out hard work any 18-year-old kid. अगर उनको लगता है कि उनमें ज़्यादा एनर्जी है, मुझसे ज़्यादा काम कर सकते हैं, मैं उनको बता रहा हूँ नहीं कर सकते. वो कोई आकर बोलता है 70 घंटे काम करो, कोई आकर बोलता है 100 घंटे काम करो. बेसिकली मतलब है, एज अ नेशन वी हैव टू डू हार्ड वर्क. हमें मेहनत करनी है. बिना मेहनत के बैठे बैठे इंस्टाग्राम पे रील्स ऊपर नीचे करने से देश आगे नहीं बढ़े. आपको ऊपर जाना है ना, तो बहुत सिंपल भाषा में किसी को नीचे लाना पड़ेगा.
Good that you accept that you made me wear it. But RCB, ई साला कप नाम दे.
Hello and welcome to Layoffs with AM. Today we are joined by a guest who brings nearly 2 decades of experience in the IT industry. From leading various organizations as COO at SAP to wearing multiple C-suite hats like CEO, CXO and CPO with various other organizations, he shared valuable insights into AI adoption, product development, and most importantly, what it takes to stand out in technology. He also shares his milestones, like how he got a promotion 6 levels above his current role, like a senior developer turning into a COO. But what stands out is the timeless value of hard work, which he feels is much more required, especially in this world of chasing shortcuts. He's the author of the book, The Little Lessons, where he summarizes little life lessons using mathematics. And he's also a great cricket fan like all of us. So enjoy this episode with Puru Govind, and we are happy to share our experiences and bring it to the wider audience. Please like, share, and subscribe this channel for more exciting content on this channel. Thank you. Hello, भैया. How are you?
गुड गुड. कैसे हो आकाश?
बस बहुत बढ़िया. काफी दिन बाद आप मिले हो आज. Give us some time. It's been really difficult to, catch hold of your time since you keep quite busy. So I'm glad finally we are doing this.
I think that's just being I'm just introvert. So my first answer to any social gathering is always no. No, but I'm honored to be part of your podcast. I listened to some of your episodes. मुझे क्रिकेट वाला काफी अच्छा लगा.
Thank
And I
you.
could actually connect with it, resonate with it, and I thought ki it would be great if I would be here.
Yeah.
It would be a good opportunity, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's get on with it. So, as we said, keeping busy and being an introvert, I could resonate it a lot. I'm also an introvert, and mostly now, since we have like grown up, we try to be at home most of the time and do our own stuff. So, like even I like to keep busy, and from being busy, I would the agenda of this complete podcast is to answer some of the coffee table conversations which go around in the offices, and in the current IT scenarios there is a lot of panic around. There is a lot of open questions, the answers to which no one knows. So, nothing better than someone who's at the pinnacle of an organization to, clear off the ice and just tell us your views, and so that people can get some of the answers. So, maybe like we would want to start. We in this podcast we would basically cover areas. We'll try to cover areas related to product development, how it has evolved over the years, how the AI is gonna impact the coming world, and we would also want to learn from your journey, how you have achieved what you have achieved so far, and can be an inspiration for all of us.
Sounds
all
good.
the
Excited.
viewers.
Let's do.
Yeah. So, okay. So, as we said, from keeping busy takes me to the office scenarios where we are stuck up in a lot of the meetings. Do you think really that there are more number of meetings than required right now? And this is something which we actually, me as a developer, feels a lot, that there are so many unnecessary meetings that we inevitably get dragged into, and this is happening quite a lot.
No, interesting question. I think everyone hates meetings, especially people who build things.
Except the
I
organizer.
don't call them developers, engineers. I just call them builders, whether they are building a building or they are building software. So meetings inherently are not bad. I mean, from if you look at from a builder perspective, of course they will say कि यार हमें तो असली काम करना है, हमें तो coding करना है, let's build something, whatever. But if you look at from a salesperson perspective, उसका तो job ही meeting है. He need to go and meet customers. He need to go and meet other customers, जो उसके prospects हैं, जो current customers हैं, and also internal reporting. So I totally empathize with you as a developer, what you think, but in my view, even for the builders, it is required for a couple of reasons. First, especially जब आजकल work from home इतना widespread है. In work from home, you need to tell people, you need to discuss people what you are building, how you are building, and see, I don't think so there's anything worthwhile that has been built which is done in isolation. There would be many examples, but when a team comes together and builds something, it is required. So in my opinion, meetings are important. पहले हम बोलते थे कि white board session नहीं हो रहे, ये नहीं हो रहा. I mean, that's basically the office thing, which is completely missing. So I think meetings are important. Of course, I mean, it might not be as important. Sometimes people just set up meetings because they want to know this thing. I mean, I have a clear thesis. Half of the meetings are there because somebody is dreading to write an email. He can't write an email, so उसने बोला कि चलो meeting कर लेते हैं. Most of the meetings are कि तुमने क्या काम किया है, right? That's how interestingly Elon Musk ने बोला कि what did you achieve yesterday? What did you achieve this thing? Most of those meetings are not required. But meetings where you are thinking, collaborating on building things. I'm just talking about from a developer perspective, engineer perspective, it is required.
Exactly. So even I am in the favor of setting up builder perspective meetings wherein I myself go ahead and schedule the meetings with the team wherein I feel that a collaboration is required now, and that developer collaboration is totally different to what I was wanting to touch upon. What happens is like I begin my day, and
9 o'clock, one meeting starts, goes till 10. From 10, I start something, 10:30, another meeting appears. I get up into a meeting, 11:30, I finish, then 12:30, another meeting appears. So till 1 o'clock, I have actually not done anything. And in those 3 meetings, sometimes one or maybe two of them might be totally irrelevant to what I'm doing. Just that I was a part of the team, so I was like caught up there. So we are trying that this kind of trend should only attract those who are relevant to that particular meeting, but that is somehow not happening. As you said, people sometimes in the they want to write something on the email or they want to micromanage. They just schedule a meeting. I'm not against micromanaging; it is required, but yes, that's definitely a reason. So from there, what happens is we finish off our work. We start our work late since 3 बजे के आसपास you get comfortable after the lunch और 3 साढ़े 3 बजे को शुरू करो. फिर शाम को भी एक छोटा सा wrap up status call types and sometimes ऐसा भी हुआ है most of the time मेरे साथ कि मैंने शाम को 6 बजे काम start किया और फिर उसका कोई dead end नहीं है. People are getting dragged till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. There has been a lot of buzz right now regarding work-life balance. Pre-COVID, this trend was not there. It was there, but it was not as prevalent as it has become now. One reason might be work from home, which has come after COVID. So people are talking about work-life balance a lot. And since people are talking about it, companies are going forward and dragging this scenario of work from home also a lot. So how do you think about it? What's your take?
Uh, Before coming to work-life balance, I still want to touch upon the last topic we discussed. I think for builders, it's very important to find out what is your time. What is the time of the day where you are actually in the quote unquote zone? Actually, I don't think so. I mean, I'm a builder myself. I still code. Uh, right now, people call it vibe coding, but I still code with AI. I usually do it in mornings. All my deep thinking works are in morning. So I think each engineer, each developer needs to find the time of the day where that person is in zone. Some people call it optimal experience. So, and try to avoid meetings. If there's a meeting during that time, that person needs to be very articulate to ask, am I really required? And if I'm required, what do you want from me? And maybe you can just write an email. So I think that's how I run on my current company, and I've been doing it for 10 years. People can just basically decline my meeting saying, why do you want me and all. Coming to work-life balance, I have I mean, while it might sound cliched, coming it from a older person, but I don't think so. There's anything called as work-life balance. Yeah. So that for last, I don't know, 15 years, I've been working on Saturdays. I don't expect anybody to work on Saturday, but I work on Saturdays. Bare minimum is like half a day on Saturday. Because the reason is quite simple. I always sign up for something and I want to solve a problem which I'm passionate about. And if I am passionate about that problem, I don't see where is work, where is life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need to be passionate about what you are solving.
Building or solving, yeah.
What you are building, what you are solving. So in that case, I don't think so. There's something called as work-life balance.
This question should not even arise in the minds of the people who are actually passionate. Is the right taker. Yeah.
Totally. However, what I really don't like is when companies say that we promote work-life balance, but they reward people who are working late nights. I mean, you would have seen emails coming, messages coming. Oh, this guy did a all-nighter because we had to do this, we had to do that, and it's been like every week. I mean, once in a while, if there's an escalation and if there's a production down, you can do it. But as an organization, you cannot basically reward this, and not everybody is passionate about the problem they are solving,
Exactly.
right? So for them, they need. See, by the way, they can be passionate about painting, which is outside their work. It's just that in the current societal framework, they can't take painting as a full-time job,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Or maybe cricket.
Yeah.
You would be surprised to know I play 3 hours of cricket every week. I'm passionate
Nice.
about that. And I have told everyone, including my, what do you call, bosses, investors, if they should not ping me between 5 to 6 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
Right. So I think your question should be more on flexibility rather than work-life balance. And we should encourage flexibility. If somebody wants to have a day off on Friday, and if the team is okay, I mean, that person should have, and he could be working on Saturday.
Definitely. So, when you said like the companies are, although they are promoting work-life balance, but they are rewarding. So, I think the companies are also doing it because there have come so many platforms like Ambition Box, Glassdoor, where just people are going and spitting out what they actually feel, and they are just frustrated with the imbalance which they feel of the work-life balance, and then the reputation goes for a toss. And to balance out those things, also company decides to have a talk about the work-life balance in place in the organization, but at the same time, obviously, who would get the most of the work done would be rewarded. As simple as that. So that's the mantra, and with that, I think going forward also, this has always been the mantra, and I think with AI coming into picture, going forward also, there has been a lot of buzz where now they are mostly focusing on someone who would be either performing or perishing. This idea of perform or perish, so there won't be any place of mediocrity going forward. From last 10-15 years, I have been working from last 12 years. What I have noticed is like, even if you are a mediocre performer, you can sustain in the company as long as you are getting your job done. And obviously you will not reach excellence or the heights, but if you just want to sustain and have a healthy life, you can sustain with doing the bare minimum thing. But I think that is gonna go off really soon.
Not really. Point number one, mediocre people will remain in the system. Point number two, and this is not only for software development, this is not for only sales, or this is about life. I mean, Darwin said it's survival of the fittest, right? The mediocre people never survive for long.
Yes.
Right? And I'll give you an example. I mean, again, I'm sorry, I'm going back to cricket again.
No. Yeah.
Virat Kohli, 36, 37 years old, is competing for his position with Jaiswal, who is probably 21.
Yes.
Right? So Jaiswal, I mean, now
now he has to compete with the one who is 14.
Yeah, he's 14. And that generation is AI first. That generation is vibe coding first. So if I am, as a developer, if I have to compete with them, I need to upskill myself. If not, I'll be a mediocre. I will get, people expect that being mediocre, we should get high rewards. Your rewards would be less than mediocre, because 80-20% rule says that the top performers, the people who are AI first, will get 80% of the increment. The rest 80 mediocre people will get 20% of increment or bonus or whatever. So mediocre people will remain. I mean, there are 8 billion people. There are so many jobs. People will continue doing their jobs, but they would not be rewarded.
But then how would this downsizing, which is happening, which is mostly targeted at mediocrity or lower than mediocrity, how do you look at that? Because now, obviously, few companies have set this trend that we are going to downsize because of AI coming in, and we don't probably need as many engineers. Mostly the junior engineers' job is getting automated faster, and going forward, we would see more of the downsizing. But there are two schools of thought. One school of thought says that the downsizing will happen and the IT departments will be of a narrowed width. Other says that the downsizing will happen, but at the same time hiring will also happen, so you don't have a scope of having a mediocrity in your work. As long as you are performing, you will be in the system. As long when you are not performing, others are obviously waiting, so they will be called into the system. So there are these two schools of thought happening. So when you said that mediocre people will remain, obviously they will get less rewarded. Doesn't it conflict this these two schools of thought?
Not necessarily. So, I mean, right now, when I spoke about that mediocre people will remain, they will remain in the system. And now you're talking about whether company A is firing or company B is firing. I mean, there were 10 companies who would have fired mediocre people, but there are 100 companies who haven't fired.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So people will remain in the system and they will stay as mediocre. So, so you had one question. I got distracted by this one. You had another. You had one more question in your
Two schools of thought.
Yeah.
Basically, one school of thought says that the downsizing will happen, and let's say today I have a IT department of 1,000 people. Tomorrow I'll have only 100.
Understood. Yeah. So see, if I just look at the last 2 years of downsizing, that has, in my opinion, 99% then nothing to do with AI replacing jobs. That has to do with the cost structure. That has to do with the change in strategy. But I don't think so. AI, I mean, whatever, there are like 10 companies who have claimed that AI has replaced their support team. I don't want to name them. They are like
totally fine.
AI has replaced their marketing team. That's more of PR. I don't think so. AI will certainly kill jobs, but it will increase the productivity. I'll give you a simple example from computer science. I mean, not computer science, but related field. Typewriter. Everybody in probably late 70s or 80s, I mean, before both of us were born, basically aspired to be a typewriter. ठीक है, टाइपराइटर बन जाएंगे, 2,000 रुपए की 1,000 रुपए की नौकरी मिल जाएगी, अपना बढ़िया है. But suddenly computer came and replaced everyone. It's not that all those typewriters are jobless today.
Yes.
They upskilled. Right? So AI will come and it will replace some jobs. Okay. However, those people need to upskill themselves and learn new things so that they can do something which is better, more productivity, and in sum total, better for humanity. I'll give you another example. Probably you might not resonate with that, but I have done coding before Stack Overflow.
Okay.
Right? And
before Stack Overflow.
Before Google, before Stack Overflow. You know how I used to write?
When there were these tapes, are you talking about those times? No. Okay, after that.
I used to have a Java reference book, C++ reference
exactly.
books.
I understand.
Oh, so you might have.
Understand.
So we used to look at the reference book and do coding, right? And then basically Google became widespread, Stack Overflow आ गया. तो हम क्या करते थे? कोई problem
Suddenly I was thinking you're not that old. I think why are you talking about? Okay.
तो फिर suddenly ये सब आ गया. अब क्या करते हैं? कोई problem हुआ, error को copy paste किया, Google पे डाला, Stack Overflow में किसी ना किसी ने answer किया होगा. Now this is the next step, right? अभी मैं AI में मैं error नहीं डालूंगा, मैं code ही AI generate करूंगा. So it will not replace engineers, builders, developers. It will 10x their productivity.
Right.
And it has already done that. I mean, I still code, not a lot, but I still spend like 1 or 2 hours a month coding. My productivity in coding has 10x. I mean, my productivity across what I do has 10x. Forget developers. I used to write marketing copy. I mean, my quality, my speed, everything has 10x after AI. So AI will just make humans more productive. जो 5 साल का PhD लगता था ना, वो 6 महीने में होगा.
Correct.
क्योंकि जो मैं लाइब्रेरी जाकर 25 किताबें 20 जर्नल उठा करता था ना, वो that is a prompt up far from me. मुझे बेसिक prompt चाहिए. $200 का chat GPT का वो लो. I mean, again, I'm not endorsing anything. You can buy anything, but they are open source model. Deep research मारो, वो तुम्हें लाकर देगा, and then you can refine from that. I don't think so you require a 5-year PhD anymore. So Yeah, that's I think my take on it, on firing and all. Right now, whatever firing is happening is because of change in strategy. It's very less is because you are letting go of mediocre. Of course, when there is a change of strategy, you always let go the mediocre people, the low performers, but you also hire at the same time. So that is what is happening right now.
So, when it comes to like you talked about how AI has transformed your day-to-day working, how it is helping you to increase your productivity. Um, I have been talking to many of the people, and I'm sure many of the people are talking right now with each other. What is the best approach from a developer's point of view, or maybe the QAs who want to transition their career into development, or whoever wants to become a next level coder? What is the best way for them to transition into AI related development? The question I would broaden with saying that there is this LLM model behind every AI engine which does the job for you. So is it like worthwhile um, understanding the math around how the LLM works and how to refine the model? Or you have so many AI tools and you just get familiar with all the tools. Each tool does a specific job. It's for a specific purpose. So, in your view, what would be the best way of going forward and learning it and applying it?
Uh, Before I answer this question, I want to say something. Words might be here and there, लेकिन हिंदी में वो एक कहावत है, जो अपनी मदद नहीं करता ना उसकी भगवान भी मदद नहीं करता.
Yes.
So I think upskilling is only that person's responsibility.
Mhm.
मैं अगर ये एक्सपेक्ट करूं कि मेरी कोई कंपनी आकर मेरे को एक सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स कराएगी, या मैं किसी ऑक्सफोर्ड में जाकर आईआईटी में जाकर एक सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स कर लेता हूँ, मेरे को एआई आ जाएगा, तो घंटा एआई आएगा.
Correct.
The best way, now to answer your question, the best way to do it is go on youtube.com. That's the best edtech company in the world. If not, there are so many other things. You can just learn AI yourself.
Okay.
Now, in my view, how do you do it? That's I can just tell you how I did it. I understand little bit how models work. I understand how or why LLMs actually are possible. I mean, suddenly it became like 2022, it became possible because 2017-2018 में Google released a transformer architecture and all. By the way, a side thing, I tried building ChatGPT way back in 2016.
Oh.
Before transformer architecture came.
Okay.
But that's a separate conversation. So again, to come back to your question, go on youtube.com. The first thing that you should do is understand the basics of LLM. If you are a developer, I'm not expecting a marketing person to do it.
No, I'm talking specifically from a developer,
builder, product manager,
Yes.
QA. जाकर
Correct.
समझो, तुम सब में इतना है कि जाकर समझो कि एक LLM काम कैसे करता है. वो प्रोबेबिलिटी पे काम करता है, एक फंक्शन पे काम करता है. तुम्हें मैथ सीखने की जरूरत नहीं है, बट अंडरस्टैंड अ लेवल 0 ऑफ हाउ LLMs वर्क. व्हाट इज ट्रांसफॉर्मर आर्किटेक्चर?
Okay.
ठीक है, कोई मुझसे भी लेवल 1 पूछेगा, मुझे भी नहीं पता ट्रांसफॉर्मर का, बट दैट्स द बेसिक अ इंजीनियर शुड नो. आफ्टर दैट a person should actually start using tools. They should, I mean, models बनाना ये सब छोड़ दो, मतलब it also requires a lot of capital, whatever. Again, I don't think so making models make sense commercially. Of course, from a nationalist point of view, it makes sense, it might make sense, but commercially it might not make sense at all. Of course, fine-tuning your model or doing the post-training of taking a model and post-training it for a specific task like coding, marketing, that you can do. But I think 99.9% of the developers, engineers should not do unless they aspire to create a model for India.
Okay.
ठीक है, तुम जाकर tools use करना सीख लो और अपनी productivity 10x कर लो. It will 99.9% of the people should do that.
Okay.
That's what I am doing it, and my productivity is 10x. I am able to compete with Jaiswal, the AI first Jaiswal of corporate world.
Okay.
मैं उसको, अगर वो आकर बोलता है कि पूरू ये मैं 6 घंटे में बना दूंगा, तो मैं बोलूंगा मैं 3 घंटे में बनाऊंगा. अगर वो बोलेगा कि मैं एक ओवर में 6 छक्के मारूंगा, तो मैं बोलूंगा मैं एक ओवर में 8 छक्के मारूंगा. आई एम competing with him. I'm very competitive. I'm competing with him, so I need to upskill myself on this.
Got it. So, um, you mentioned one very interesting point where you said you built something in 2016, which was related to GPT. If I'm right, more about that we would want to listen.
It was not GPT because transformer architecture was not there, but I was building. I was building a natural language search which could give you answers in, let's say, plain English.
Mhm.
So, for example, and probably some YouTube videos would still be there. My startup was called Silly Point,
Mhm.
and in fact, if I remember correctly, the transformer architecture was released in 2017, not 18 or 19, and I was just at the wrong place at wrong time. It requires high capital, and being in India at that time, capital probably was not available. Of course, I've spoken to a lot of people. Again, no regrets, nothing. But I was trying to build a Chat GPT like search for cricket.
Mhm.
So you could have asked how many runs did, I don't know, Kohli scored against Australia in Brisbane in second innings, or what was his batting average, and it would basically go to your database, do a calculation, and come back. So that was I was trying to build. It was not like Chat GPT, but it was like Chat GPT search for a certain vertical. So yeah, that was interesting, and probably I was a year or 2 years ahead of time.
Okay. I have seen that website. It was mostly related to the SQL queries that were getting formed while you type, somewhat related to that. So a developer would relate more to it.
Yeah.
I was able to relate because I was working as a developer back then also. So it was like how many centuries did Sachin score in this? So this in and many,
Yeah.
these SQL related keywords I could resonate, and this is how it was building the query.
That's
So NLP, you said the natural language processing. So from there it would pick up the keywords from SQL,
Yeah.
get the result back and show it off. And the most interesting thing I liked in the website was I think you had used Redis cache or the Redis database, which was, I think, later on you kind of embedded Flipkart or other Amazon products in the website, where we saw the images getting loaded as you type.
Yeah.
It was real super fast that time because the latency was so low that we could see the images loading. And I was just talking to one of my peers who was a genius in coding, kind of a next to a genius in coding, and he was surprised to see uh, because he was a master of JavaScript, and he liked the things working on the screen very fast, and he was surprised to see, oh, they are able to load images so fast. So then I told him they are using Redis, so which is like caching a lot of data, and it was obviously you were right when you say that you were ahead of time in that, and it was a very futuristic website. Nevertheless, it did not work. So, which brings me to a very interesting topic about the product development, where when you I would like to believe that you have a product mindset, or taking nothing away from a service mindset where we solve one problem at a time, but uh, looking from a developer's or a coder's perspective, they all want to be into a product development where they want to learn and do it. So tell us about how that mindset grew, how in the college you leveraged coding and created that mindset. Were you interested in mathematics?
Oh,
A
yes.
lot.
I'm still interested in mathematics. I still have a book, Discrete Mathematics by Shom. I have also a graph theory book. I keep. I mean, these are all like my university books. So I like mathematics, um, and I think product. I mean, also interesting thing. I didn't. Not many people know, but I had a startup when I was in college, and this is like way before startup became even probably a word in India media. This is like 2003, 2004. So, and I was very deep into modifying Linux kernel. In fact, I think kernel 2.4.6, if I remember correctly, also has a patch from me. By the way, if you ask me, I don't know what is the latest kernel version, but I think 2.4.6 or 2.3.6 has a patch from me in struct.c. That was the name of the file.
Okay.
And so I think that's how I always loved coding. I was fortunate enough to get exposed to coding and computers when I was seventh or eighth class, and it was just serendipity. My father got a computer, thinking that we would learn things and all, but all we did was playing games. And
Gaming helped a lot.
I think gaming always helps. I still play a lot of games on mobile, on PlayStation. I mean, people get surprised, but I probably spend like 30 minutes every day playing either Candy Crush or chess on my mobile. So I still play a lot of Candy Crush. After I reach 3000 stage, I uninstall it and install it again because I don't want difficult levels. I just want to play simple levels. I've been learning chess lately a lot. So I always like playing games. But yeah, of course. So I still remember very vividly how it started. There was a screensaver by Windows 95 where the stars were basically zooming out. And I asked my computer science teacher, how to even make this, and they introduced me to a language called GW Basic. It's basically a basic, and their version for GW Basic, there was Q Basic and all, and that's how it started. I continued coding. I mean, school projects and all in 11th. I had computer science in 11th and all, and then I did computer science engineering. So
mostly computer science focused from the school itself, and you carried this interest to the college where you created one of the startups, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and we used to write articles on Linux internals and all those things. So I think that's how it started. So for me, it was never product versus services. It was always like developing. And then I mean, again, I'm fortunate enough to join SAP. Worked on actually my first team was actually a services team. Where we used to take SAP software and extend it for their use case for different industries. And then after that, I moved to product. I don't see a fundamental difference between product and services. I mean, at the end of the day, you are solving somebody's problem.
Right.
On product, you are solving there's a problem that everyone faces. That's what you're solving. Services could be only 10 people or single person solving, but you're solving a problem. So that's how I see it.
Okay. So in current product development scenarios, there's this word which is coming out a lot, which they are referring to as a perpetual beta, where it means that nothing is actually getting done a lot. Systems are changing rapidly. Over the weekends, people decide to build something new and discontinue what they have been using. We have been seeing many of the products getting developed and getting scrapped out really soon. And with this scrapping, what happens is you spend some resources building a team, building a thought, building cost, and everything gets involved into that. So from CEO's perspective, how do you take it? Do you believe in investing in the thought process and trying out the result, or do you feel annoyed when things don't work as planned?
If you're asking me as a CEO, then I have to answer it as a CEO. If you would have asked me as a separate persona, I would have answered it in separate persona.
Okay, you can answer in both.
As a CEO, the biggest thing that you want your company to do is grow revenue and grow shareholders value. I don't know if they still teach in MBA, but I'm not an MBA, but I overheard this. The MBA one-on-one says a company exists to increase shareholder values. Now, if I have to increase revenue, let's just forget shareholder value. If I have to increase revenue, I have to go for the next big opportunity. Now, the definition of next big opportunity can also differ. For example, Apple at their certain revenue, when they talk about next big opportunity, they are looking at 25 billion annual revenue product. But when I am looking at, I'll probably say यार जो मेरा 2-3 million का revenue लियागा मेरे लिए next big opportunity वही है, right? Now, how do you do that? How do you succeed in that? In my view, my thesis is the more you experiment in life, the higher the probability of your success.
Yes.
Right? So now if I have to find a new next big thing, I have two options. या तो मैं पूरा 2 महीना बैठकर पूरा स्टडी करूं, ये करूं और बोलूं ये आइडिया बनाते हैं.
Correct.
और उसमें the chance of failure versus success is 50/50.
50/50 or maybe failures are 70 and success is 30.
हाँ, जो भी है मतलब but
Correct.
the next is I basically spawn 3 teams of 1 developer, 2 developers and try 3 ideas and see क्या हो रहा है.
Yes.
Right? And of course, those 3 ideas will also be like shortlisted, but that's like a quick shortlist. मेरे पास 10 आइडिया है, चल ये 3 का शायद मार्केट स्पेस लग रहा है, कस्टमर बोल रहे हैं कि ये चाहिए उनको, तो we can try this, right?
Let's try out. Yeah.
So in life, in product development, the more you experiment, उसको marketing में कुछ लोग, I'm just connecting marketing, उसको बोलते हैं top of the funnel. एक funnel होता है, जितना ऊपर डालोगे उतना नीचे आएगा, right? तुम funnel को broad कर दोगे तो आपका bottom भी broad हो जाएगा. The more you experiment in your product, the better it is.
Okay.
However, I think I also understand your flip question कि यार सभी कुछ फिर experiment ही है.
हाँ.
Right?
Exactly.
तो उसमें क्या है? So see, MVP, experiment, all these are okay when you are exploring.
Okay.
The quality can be low. You are just exploring things out, right? But once you have decided to ship it,
yes,
then you bloody do it with good quality. मेरा तो ये मानना है ना, always tell it to all the builders that I've worked with, जो मेरी टीम है, जो मैं सबको ये बोलता हूँ, the product that you are shipping has a brand name called Puru Govind written, and I don't want to ruin my brand. It has to be bloody good. मेरा नाम है उस पे, मेरा brand है उस पे, and so if I have decided to ship it, it need to be very good. I also give you another example. ये आजकल actually लेटली क्या हो रहा है कि B2C कंपनीज के वजह से, उसकी वजह से ना ये शिप फास्ट, MVP, इससे ना हाउ डू आई से, व्हाट इज द राइट वर्ड, माहौल खराब हो गया है. आई कम फ्रॉम अ वर्ल्ड ऑफ एंटरप्राइज सॉफ्टवेयर, SAP में अगर मैंने शिप फास्ट के चक्कर में कुछ गलत कर दिया ना तो कंपनी के रेवेन्यू गलत आने लग जाएंगे.
करेक्ट.
एंड दिस इज नॉट ओके. मतलब कंपनी ट्रस्ट SAP फॉर इट्स फाइनेंशियल्स, राइट? फाइनेंशियल वो जाती है एनुअल रिपोर्ट में, उस पे 0.001 का भी फर्क नहीं आना चाहिए.
Exactly.
मैं बोलता हूँ ठीक है कैश पे डाल दो, ये कर दो, नीचे नंबर चेंज हो गया, एक इनवॉइस और आ गया, कैश पे पुराना नंबर है, तुम्हारी रिपोर्टिंग गलत आ जाएगी.
एक बहुत अच्छा सा एग्जांपल मेरे को याद आया इसी कॉन्वर्सेशन से. वी वर एट इन्फोसिस, हमने एक प्रोडक्ट बनाया था. प्रोडक्ट का नाम ऐसे जनरल लेजर करके था. इट वाज अ जनरल लेजर सॉल्यूशन फॉर अ कंपनी, आई फॉरगॉट बेसिकली. बट उसमें जर्नल एंट्रीज में एक साइड डेबिट, एक साइड क्रेडिट. Credit is obviously plus, debit is minus. But if you look at from the other's perspective, the credit which is going out from one's pocket is a credit into other's pocket. So developer who was building it was trying to, maybe he was trying to be smart or he was trying to be tricky or something. What he did is conventionally he made credit as a negative and debit as a positive. We deployed it. This developer went on to pursue higher studies. Somebody else was deployed. And suddenly, one fine night, you could start seeing few issues in production getting raised. So it was a kind of a panic for the new joiner because he was at the production floor exposed to the production
Everyone,
people,
yeah.
and they were like that the product is playing circus. So what is happening? And he suddenly looks at credit being a negative and debit being a positive. He decides to flip it while each one of us is asleep, and he deploys that overnight. And the behavior becomes even worse. The journal entry numbers start becoming even worse. Until morning, it was chaos.
Yeah.
That, we reported something, you tried fixing, you said it's fixed, and then you deployed something which is even causing blunder.
Yeah.
So that caused a lot of escalations and then lot of reputational damage also. So it was, but it was interesting. Now we talk about it, we laugh about it a lot.
No, I think not many builders, engineers, developers understand that, but somebody is trusting their life, their business onto a software, right? If, for example, I'm coming from a marketing automation, I'm doing marketing automation right now. If a company wants to send email to 100,000 people in next 5 minutes, that email has to go.
Yes.
क्योंकि अगर email नहीं गया उसका revenue loss है, क्योंकि cost उसके पास पड़ी हुई है सारी, उसका revenue loss है वो, right? So if, I mean, there's a very subset of software where you can afford to ship fast and make mistakes. Let's look at all these payment companies. If I am transferring 50 rupees to you, that money should go. Right? ऐसा नहीं है कि shift fast के चक्कर में वो money कहीं और चले गए. Right? So developers need to understand somebody is trusting their life, their business onto that software. What if we started shipping fast MRI machines? या Boeing planes. वो सब गिरेंगे नीचे. Somebody is trusting their life on that software, right?
Yes.
So I think shipping fast करना चाहिए जब आप idea explore कर रहे हो, ये कर रहे हो. और but when in some section like games you can do it. I mean, chess का या Candy Crush में अगर नहीं आ रहा तो क्या किसी को फर्क पड़ जाएगा, फोन बंद करेगा, रख देगा साइड में. But when you need to understand that somebody is trusting you and you better build a good software, which is like trustworthy. I mean, trust is the biggest social currency. It's the biggest human currency. The trust that you build in 10 years will be lost within 5 seconds.
Okay. Yes, you are right there. But at times, we as developers, we obviously at the time of coding, what really happens, especially when coding an enterprise solution of such a vast breadth, sometimes it is not able to, it's not feasible, or maybe there might be time crunch, or there might be like a lot of things come and go. So there might be misses where you're not able to replicate a scenario which directly comes up in the production, and it's a quite it's a mess from the dev end, and it creates a noise a lot, and obviously that comes along with the reputational damage and whatever you talked about. So I think you've already answered one of my questions where I was about to ask you whether you would want to ship a product which might be buggy, you know it, but as an MVP you just want to launch it, and you are like, okay, fine, I will go ahead and solve the bugs later. Let me launch and see the response.
Yeah, I will do it.
Yeah.
Unless it is impacting the financial system of the company, I'll do it.
Okay, so because you were saying like you have a brand which you don't want to compromise with, the quality you don't want to.
No. So again, there's always a exploration stage and a shipping stage. In my mind, these are two different stages. A shipping stage is when I'm releasing a product that needs to work. If the product says that if you click this button, X happens, X should happen 99% of the times or more than that.
Yes.
But if I'm exploring, मैंने 0.1 वर्जन निकाला, ठीक है, बगी है, ये मुझे भी नहीं पता. I'm just exploring. I'm just telling my users these are the possibilities. See, I always start from the funnel. These are the 20 possibilities. By the way, the best MVP is you make a product with all the possibilities on the left menu. देखो बंदा कहाँ क्लिक कर रहा है. In a self-serve business, not in an enterprise business. In a self-serve business, वो बंदा कहाँ क्लिक कर रहा है और जहाँ वो क्लिक कर रहा है राइट साइड पे दिखा दो कॉन्टैक्ट अस. वो पीएम के पास या डेवलपर के पास एक मैसेज चले आएगा. So this is the simplest MVP. इसमें ना कोई मतलब फीचर ही नहीं है, बग तो बाद में आएगा ना. So all this is fine when you are doing exploration / MVP. But when you decide to ship it, when you decide that this will go into customers' production, whatever process it is, marketing, sales, finance, HR, when it is in production,
But
then it should work.
Nowadays, even they are exploring at production also. They are no longer at an exploration phase first and then releasing into prod. What they are doing is they are releasing into prod. They are experimenting over there. How is it performing? I'm not talking about the defects or the bugs. I'm just saying how the product will perform. And there might be few of the complex scenarios where initially it works, but there might be a scenario where it might fail. So they are experimenting it at that stage also.
The production, maybe there are ways to experiment, which is you release it to 1% of the customers, so and so forth.
Piloting strategies might differ.
अगर कोई 100% पे कर रहा है तो वो गलत कर रहा है. मैं चाहता हूँ कि जो भी उसकी कंपनी पेरोल सॉफ्टवेयर कर रही है ना, वो एक एक्सपेरिमेंट उसके पेरोल पे रन करके देख ले.
नहीं, then
तब पता चलेगा कि क्या होता है.
Obviously they are scrapping it also as soon as possible because they already have a system in place, which is working fine. They just want to modernize it with new features. So if that is not working somehow, they have a second switch which they can on anytime.
And so see, you can basically release to 1% of the people. If it's a self-service mass customer software, you can release it to 0.11%, see it, learn it. But releasing something which is crappy to 100% of your customer is a nightmare.
Right.
Usually, if you now ask me again as a leader, I'm not okay with that. That person would actually leave the company the next day if he has done this.
Right.
So this basically means the person is not accountable. वो बस उसको जो बोला उसने कर दिया, उसने खुद समझ ही नहीं आ रहा कि वो कर क्या रहा है. Accountability तो चाहिए मेरे को ना. Every person in the organization is accountable. So for me, that's a strict no.
And from accountability, I wanted to ask you, we are seeing a lot of accountability being pushed on individuals now. The individual contributor roles have been evolving now. Previously also they were there, but when working in a team, it always felt like either the project manager or the supervisors or the one delivery manager sitting above. There were so many layers. So the individual accountability never really came out. I being a junior developer would sit in the innermost shell, develop something. Okay, I know first SIT testing will happen, then UAT testing will happen, then performance testing will happen. Somewhere if I leave something, it will eventually get caught. We'll see there. Then we'll fix it and then ship it. Even then, there are people to answer, if something goes wrong. So nothing will directly come to us. But those levels are getting trimmed now. It is good, obviously. It is good. But this flattening of structure, if you were to decide on a product development, would you want to go with this stage, or how you see a different way of doing?
See, I'm not an organization development expert, but what I have seen, I mean, SAP, when I was there at SAP, SAP was about 80,000 employees. After that, I have worked in some of the mid-sized companies, but the conversation is always on reducing, I think it's called span of work or something like that, which is basically reducing the number of levels. And it might be right because that's what a lot of organizational design people do it. Now, I think like you said, if you reduce the number of levels, the accountability increases.
Yes.
And I think it's a great thing to have. By the way, that's also a big company versus small company.
Exactly.
Startup mein मेरे ख्याल से हर एक बंदा जो काम करता है, अगर 30 लोगों का स्टार्टअप है, ऑल 30 आर लाइक प्योरली अकाउंटेबल.
करेक्ट.
वहीं अगर मैं वो 30 लोगों की कंपनी 1000-2000 पे कर दूं, डाइल्यूट होती रहेगी.
Dilute.
So what you are saying, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm quite confident there are some big organization where the IC or individual contributor is not really accountable.
Exactly. And no, my thing was that you're right, the startup versus the big organizations, but I am seeing this happening in the big organizations also.
Which is good because the hierarchy is flattening. I'll tell you another thing now. I'm not trying to kind of make it very sound very like a nice thing to do, or I mean uh, glamorizing it. But do you know why a CEO's job is most difficult?
Mhm.
Because the buck stops with him.
Because the?
Everything stops with him,
Okay.
right? Accountability तो उसकी है.
Yes. He's
उस
answerable. Yeah.
कंपनी का कुछ भी चीज ले लो, वो उसका एक्सपर्ट है नहीं है, अगर उस तक कुछ डिसीजन आया है,
Hmm.
he is accountable for that and he needs to take a decision.
Hmm.
SAP के ऑफिस में स्मोकिंग रूम चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए, सीईओ को कुछ नहीं पता. उसको तो पता ही नहीं कि ये स्मोकिंग रूम का क्या फायदा है, नॉन स्मोकिंग रूम का क्या फायदा है, उसका एक पर्सनल ओपिनियन है.
Hmm.
But if a decision has come to his desk, he needs to take a decision, right?
Okay.
He's not an expert in this. So I think now, if that is cascading down to individual contributor, it's actually very good.
Yeah.
Because if for a developer, let's say in very simple, let's say he is working on a small component or module, whatever you want to call, basically the buck or the decision of that component module stops at him. He needs to take a decision. Uska project manager nahi, uska development manager nahi, uska product manager nahi, it has to be with him, right? He is to take decision. ठीक है, feature आ रहे हैं, PM will help, but refactoring का क्या?
Hmm.
वो तो engineer को decision लेना पड़ेगा ना.
Hmm.
So I think if it's coming to that level, I mean, it's been now 10 years that I have worked in a very big organization, but if in big organization that's happening, I mean, it's excellent.
Yeah, not all, but slowly and gradually it is happening. And I'm very happy with that because what happens is, like, as a developer, I get the full independence of deciding what to do when, not
Yeah.
just what to do when, how to organize things.
Yeah.
Since you work in an agile team, so obviously there might be scrum masters or somebody owning the scrum also, so they would organize things for you, but the development related tasks rest with me. I get to be the master of my choice, that ठीक है, पहले ऐसे, फिर ऐसे, फिर ये स्टिच करेंगे, फिर ये स्टिच करेंगे, पहले इधर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन करेंगे, उस तक ऐसे. तो I get to decide all this, which was previously a job carried out mostly by the project managers because we were reaching out to him for help. We did not know कि क्या करना है. तो बहुत chaos था. And previous developments, when I remember, there was this MVP kind of a release which we had done in Infosys. रात को 12 बजे बैठ के हम लोग वेलकम ईमेल का HTML ड्राफ्ट कर रहे थे और सिस्टम में करीब 100 बग पड़े हुए थे. तो हमें पता था कि ये बग्स हैं और ये सॉल्व होंगे धीरे धीरे. एंड कस्टमर को ऑब्वियसली एक डिप्लोमेटिक तरह से इन्होंने कन्वे किया था कि दिस फीचर्स माइट वर्क, दिस माइट नॉट वर्क, बट योर कोर बिजनेस विल वर्क. तो वैसे करके तो लर्निंग which I have gathered in my coding area, I would say, was with an organization where I would decide on which feature I have to work. Let's say I pick up a feature, I would say I will take 5 or maybe 6 man days to give you this feature with testing complete. Where I would divide the tasks. I would say, okay, 2 days of coding, 1 day of unit testing, then another 2 days of testing, and then it will be ready. But that organization was a complete product development organization. And if you have not developed anything before, or you are seeing that few challenges might come during the course of development. What they used to do is they used to take it as an engineering story in the previous sprints. We call it as a POC. You can call it as an engineering story. So once you develop an engineering story, you go to them, you show them, okay, this is possible, this is not possible with the current things that we have. This is how we are going to decide, go with it. If you are okay with it, we'll build it. So that's where most of the learning came, because it was not entire 8 hours I would be fully focusing on coding. I would code for 4 hours. Next 4 hours, I would try to learn how the thing works. I have coded from Stack Overflow or Google or from wherever. But how my tool works, it's such a rich tool, and you can do wonders with the tool, and you get time to think about it, to go through it. So, that's what I also talk to young developers in the team when they ask. My so far till now, my opinion is try to spend time.
Yeah.
As much time you will spend, the confidence will come from within. So that's how we take it. So you have been like I when talking to you now or before, you sound pretty confident, and you have been confident from the beginning, or you have developed it because you said you are an introvert. I am also I would like to believe I'm an introvert. So this level of confidence you have always had, or you ever had lack of confidence and you've developed it over time, or
I don't know actually. I mean, probably you should ask my parents if I had confidence since childhood. But what I can tell you is, I don't know whether that's confidence or not, but I always had courage.
Yeah.
Courage to do things which probably 98% of my peer group would not do this. And I can tell you, I mean, see, it's not, whatever little success I have in my life, I attribute that mostly to my fortune, to my luck. The fact that it's I'm a strong believer in, I'm not believer, but I practice probability a lot. The fact that I was born in a certain family is the first step. P A by B, maths का अगर होता हो, P A by नहीं बोलते, वो hyphen, वो slash B. What is the probability that A will happen if B has already happened? That B is that I was born in this family, right? So coming back to the courage, of course, I mean, that's being said that I'm lucky, but it's always also good to be courageous in whether you call it confidence or what, but you should have courage to do things, and that will give you results. Most of the good results are actually extreme results, which you will get if you try something which is like extreme. I'll give you an example. At SAP, I basically became chief operating officer at 26 years of age. Probably I actually went 6 or 7 levels higher. Of course, I had knowledge. Of course, I was being at the right time, at the right place. But I think I was also courageous.
Exactly.
And I basically went on that interview with 10 minutes of lead time. How many people would have a courage to go for an interview which is 6 levels higher, and with, of course, the person who is like still 2 levels higher than
So
you?
you were a senior developer, or what exactly you were working as?
I was a developer,
Mhm.
and in SAP there was a program called high
Okay.
potential something. So I was in Germany. I did my fellowship there, high potential fellowship. So of course I was like top of the cream of SAP.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I met somebody. We started this podcast with a coffee machine gossip and coffee machine conversation.
Yeah.
I actually have met that person for the first time next to a coffee machine, and I again met him like after 2 hours. I mean, first he understood me, what I'm doing and all, and he told me, Puru, there's a role.
So he knew you before?
2 hours before.
2 hours before. That
And
was your first meet with him.
My first meeting with him, I would say that's luck.
Okay.
Of course, what I spoke with him in
Okay.
next 5 minutes was not luck.
Okay.
That was probably my courage or my knowledge. And then we again met.
So basically, in those 5 minutes, he was able to understand
Yeah,
that this fellow is ready for a 6-level job.
he could be ready. Yeah, and he basically see he is also smart. He is a very good friend of mine. He was in Delhi. He stays in Germany. He was in Delhi like 2 weeks back, so we met. And also in those, like, we met after 2 hours. In those 2 hours, he did a background check for me. And then he basically randomly asked, "Is there a role? Would you be interested?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" And he said, of course, he explained me the role, and I was like shitting in my pants. But I said, "Yeah, I'm okay." And he said, "There's only one problem. That guy is leaving on vacation, and today is Friday. So the only option left is, that person called his assistant, and he said the only option left is if you meet him in 10 minutes.
Okay.
And SAP in Germany is a big campus. So basically, that other building was like probably a kilometer away or less than kilometer. I said, "I'm game for it. I'll run and take that interview."
Okay.
So and this was like in March, I believe, which is like good winter season. So I didn't have a jacket. I was indoors. So I went out, ran towards that building, and I attended that interview. And after 20 minutes, he says, "You are on."
Okay. So which position was that?
This was Chief Operating Officer.
Chief Operating.
Of a-
Developers jumping to a Chief Operating Officer, skipping all the levels.
All the
So
levels.
tonight you slept as a developer. The next day you wake up as a COO.
Not the next day, of course.
Obviously,
there was a transition period of
just
3
a
months,
saying
4 months.
That the way of saying it.
Yeah.
So
I was like
very
that. And
short.
I vividly remember I
time.
didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
So when that person said that, okay, I think you can be a good Chief Operating Officer for me, I honestly didn't know how to react. I was very happy inside, but outside I had to show that it's a normal mediocre deal for me, because of course I had to negotiate my salary. Right? I was an Indian employee in Germany. I had to. So inside I was very happy. I suddenly thought that, I don't know, something great has happened to me. These are like once in a life type of moments. And but again, I had to control my this thing. And by the way, my boss, supervisor, whatever you call, is also a very good friend of mine. He left SAP. He is now a consultant, and he is very happy that he produced a CEO. So, and he has produced multiple CEOs. So,
this brings to a very important point of being lucky in life also. With all due respect to the kind of knowledge or the effort you have put in, you would also like to believe that there are many people who are either equally smarter or equally knowledgeable, but then there is a luck factor also involved with everyone. And obviously, yes, fortune does favor the brave. You have to be courageous, but then even being courageous or being confident or being skilled doesn't necessarily guarantee luck. So अभी भुवनेश्वर कुमार का एक पॉडकास्ट आया था, उसमें रणवीर आस्क्ड हिम कि जब वो पहली बॉल फेंक रहे थे डेब्यू में, जिसमें मोहम्मद हफीज को बोल्ड किया था, उसके पहले दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था? कुछ सोच रहे थे या सोचा था कि विकेट के लिए जाने? तो आई लव द रिस्पॉन्स दैट ही गेव. ही वाज ब्रूटली ऑनेस्ट, सेइंग कि कुछ भी नहीं चल रहा था दिमाग में. बस ऑब्वियसली आई एम अ बॉलर, सो आई विल गो फॉर विकेट्स. बट ये नहीं सोचा था कि पहली बॉल पड़ेगी, स्विंग करके अंदर जाएगी और क्लीन बोल्ड होगा. ये थोड़ा लक फैक्टर होता है हर एक. तो ऑन दैट नोट, would like you to give some advice to the young crowd which is coming just out of college, trying to build a career maybe in IT or maybe as independent coders or freelancer coders, or they want to progress in this particular field. What would you like to advise them. Also, from after coding, if somebody aspires to reach up the ladder, maybe in a shortest possible time or maybe in a organic time that it takes, what would be your advice for all those?
Sorry, what was the second thing?
So the second advice for somebody who wants to climb up the corporate ladder, so how should they go about it?
So, okay, I'll answer one by one.
Mhm.
The first question was, what is my advice to young people?
Young
I think, see, and this is not only for builders, engineers, this is for people. Again, I'm competing with them, some of them who are excel, who are not mediocre, but I still would give this advice out of my experience. It's quite simple. जो luck है, जो तुम्हारा आई डोंट नो IQ है, इंटेलिजेंस है, इस पर तुम्हारा कोई कंट्रोल नहीं. तुम पैदा होकर आए थे उससे, राइट? बट तुम्हारे हाथ में क्या है? तुम्हारे हाथ में दो चीजें, हार्डवर्क एंड डिसिप्लिन.
Correct.
In my opinion, there is no replacement of hard work. I can still tell you, I can out hard work any 18-year-old kid.
Mhm.
अगर उनको लगता है कि उनमें ज्यादा एनर्जी है, उनसे ज्यादा काम कर सकते हैं, मैं उनको बता रहा हूँ नहीं कर सकते. So, and I'm telling them to be disciplined in their life. And by discipline, I don't mean कि Friday को जल्दी सो जाओ. ये discipline with work. You follow something and you follow this with discipline and you work very, very hard. If you want to be not a mediocre person. Mediocre तो देखो मैं नहीं, ये डार्विन बोल रहा है कि ये survival of the fittest है. Mediocre रहोगे तो कोई आकर कुचल जाएगा.
Correct.
So hard work is very important and everybody should work hard. This will benefit you, this will benefit nation.
ठीक है.
वो कोई आकर बोलता है 70 घंटे काम करो, कोई आकर बोलता है 100 घंटे काम करो. बेसिकली मतलब है एज अ नेशन वी हैव टू डू हार्ड वर्क. हमें मेहनत करनी है. बिना मेहनत के बैठे बैठे इंस्टाग्राम पे रील्स ऊपर नीचे करने से देश आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा. वेरी सिंपल. नाउ योर सेकंड क्वेश्चन वाज कि
Want to move up the
which is again I'm trying to connect कि जब तुम मेहनत करोगे ना तो सीधी सी बात है, आपने खुद एक वर्ड यूज किया विच इज कॉर्पोरेट लैडर. कॉर्पोरेट लैडर ना कभी भी ऐसे वर्टिकल नहीं होती जो लाइफ में होती है. एक पिरामिड होता है, इट्स कॉल्ड कॉर्पोरेट पिरामिड. तो वो ऐसे होता है. आपको ऊपर जाना है ना तो बहुत सिंपल भाषा में किसी को नीचे लाना पड़ेगा.
ओके.
राइट. हार्डवर्क तो टेबल स्टेक हो गया. ठीक है. उसके बाद क्योंकि ऊपर देखो एक ही आदमी की जगह है, धीरे 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 ऊपर जाना है. ठीक है. अब तुम उसको हिंदी में या तो बोल दो कि तुम दूसरे आदमी को पीछे छोड़ दो, कुचल दो. I mean, I don't want to sound very dramatic, but there's only, you are 100 people right now at the bottom of the pyramid and there is only one position top there. तो उन 100 लोगों में से 50 लोग हार्ड वर्क करेंगे, which is table stakes.
To put it in correct words, you have to compete and outsmart yourself from the rest of the others.
And how do you outsmart? Now there are 2 or 3 things that I believe we should outsmart. अब हार्ड वर्क तो सब कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. लेट्स अज्यूम दिस कि 100 में से 50 लोग हार्ड वर्क कर रहे हैं. आप एक लेवल ऊपर चले जाओगे. उसके बाद आता है व्हाट प्रॉब्लम आर यू सॉल्विंग? Is that even the right problem to solve at this point of time? Right? I mean, again, going back to my personal experience, I think somebody decided to hire me as a CEO in 20 minutes. It was not because I was speaking good English. मतलब अभी बोलता हूँ मेरी इंग्लिश थोड़ी वैसी है, ऐसी चलती है, लेकिन it was because of my ideas. Right? And that person liked my ideas.
Basically 5 मिनट में किसी को जज कर लेना कि he's ready to take up something which is 6 levels above what he's doing.
So to solve, I mean, again, पीयूष गोयल ने अभी बोला कि कितने लोग केक बनाएंगे, आइसक्रीम बनाएंगे. You would be on a pyramid, the people who are making ice creams are somewhere here. तुम्हें टॉप पे जाना है ना तो कुछ तगड़ा आईपी बनाना ही पड़ेगा. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा आइसक्रीम बनाने वाले खराब हैं, बट वो पिरामिड में एक उनकी जगह है. मैं तो उनसे बहुत नीचे हूँ. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि मैं बहुत महान हूँ. मैं तो बहुत नीचे हूँ. मैं तो आइसक्रीम भी नहीं बना रहा आज की तारीख में. बट द पॉइंट इज व्हाट प्रॉब्लम यू आर सॉल्विंग विल मेक यू ग्रेट एंड will take you to the top. And the third thing is, now that you are hardworking, Now that you are solving a right problem, the next level comes which is the leadership. How do you motivate and convince a tribe of people, a group of people to achieve that? That is the biggest thing. And I think, the best example of that is Defense Forces, Indian Army. मैं अपने बॉस के कहने पे गोली खाने को तैयार हूँ. वैसे टीम बनाने के लिए you need to have a leadership ability, skills, and that you have to develop. So I think for the next generation, if you want this nation to be successful, if you want yourself to be successful, if you want your family to be successful and living a good life, please start working hard. I'm not against Instagram, I'm not against movies. मैं Instagram में शायद रोज 25 मिनट खुद मीम्स देखता हूँ, but I don't do it like all the time. ऊपर नीचे करने से, चिल करने से
Correct.
कुछ नहीं होना. मेहनत करनी है, आराम से सैटरडे संडे एंजॉय करो, लेकिन जब मेहनत करो तो मेहनत करो. Solve the right problems, whether you are doing a job, if you want to.
Actually, this right problem is a very right thing that you spoke, because we see that many people come with okay, I've learned this, this is what I have created, but boss, whatever you have created, is it for the purpose of showcasing what you have learned, or is it actually solving anything?
Yeah, that's right.
It is just that you are trying to showcase that, okay, I am trying to be smart and trying to learn, which is very good, but at the same time you are not solving anything.
That's right.
Right. So when this, people need to know this, because I am seeing this around. This is happening a lot.
Yeah. You need to build there's like product management one-on-one. You need to solve the right problem, which is, if you see it from a PM perspective, it should be top 2 problems or top 3 problems of your user persona. अब कोई मुझसे पूछे कि तुम्हें अरहर की दाल, तूर दाल इज माय फेवरेट, तुम क्या चाहते हो? मैं चाहता हूं कि मैं 7 दिन तूर की दाल खाऊं. That's my problem statement. If somebody ask me कि तुम्हें मिलती है, नहीं मिलती, मेरा प्रॉब्लम है. अब वही बंदा अगर पूछेगा तुम रोज तूर की दाल खाने के लिए $50 दोगे, मैं बोलूंगा नहीं. Because that's not my top 3 problems.
Yes.
Right? So I think this is how you identify the right problem to solve.
Nice. So I think it was great talking to you. बहुत मजा आया and बहुत कुछ जानने को मिला. बहुत सारे myths थे, काफी चीजें क्लियर हुई हैं आज, and कुछ चीजें पता नहीं थी, वो भी पता चली हैं. I think people would love it and would leave these 3 pillars that we talked about for the next time that we meet. Maybe we would want to continue on that and try to learn more deeply into these 3 pillars that we just spoke about. And till then, we just wish you all the success and wish you very good health, and wish just that RCB wins this time the IPL.
I think I made you wear that Delhi Capitals. There's a reason for this.
Now that good that you accept that you made me wear it. But RCB, Isala Cup nam de.
No, thanks a lot for having me here. I'm really, really happy.
Yeah.
And of course, DC will win this time. ठीक है.
Thank you.